All right, today we're talking about Google, and specifically how they're putting AI into, well, pretty much everything. We're going to see how all their products are changing from just being tools you use to assistants that actually help you out before you even ask. So let's get into it. Okay, so what could a brand new smartphone, some secret feature in Google Maps, and a $96 billion financial report possibly have in common? I know, it sounds totally random, right? But believe it or not, there's one single thing that connects all of them. And once you see it, you'll understand Google's entire game plan for the future.
And here's your answer, right from the CEO himself. Sundar Pichai basically laid it all out. He said AI is impacting every part of their business. It's not just some cool new feature they're adding. No, it's the engine. It's what's driving everything. It is the big why behind all the stuff we're about to break down.
So what kind of tech are we talking about here? It's something called frontier AI. And look, this isn't your basic AI that suggests the next word in an email. Nope. We're talking about the really advanced stuff, like Google's Gemini models. These things can see, hear, and read all at the same time, handling text, images, video, you name it. It's a massive, massive leap in intelligence.
And they are not slowing down. Just look at this timeline from 2025. It's just bam, 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 a new Gemini model drops. Then they show off this wild universal assistant called Project Astra, then new video generation tools, and finally a whole new line of phones. It is an absolute sprint. They are building this AI future as fast as they possibly can.
Okay, so that's the big picture. But how does all this fancy frontier AI actually affect you? Well, let's start with something you probably have with you right now, your phone.
Right, the new Pixel 10 series. At the heart of these phones is a new chip, the Tensor G5. And the really important part is this thing called a TPU. Think of it as a special brain just for AI. And in this new chip, it's 60% more powerful. That's a huge deal because it means the phone can run some seriously powerful AI right on the device itself without needing to connect to the cloud for everything.
So what can you do with all that power? Well, check this out. Camera Coach. Picture this. You're trying to get that perfect shot, but you're not quite sure about the framing. Instead of just guessing, the phone gives you live tips right on the screen. It'll say, hey, maybe lower the angle a bit or move a little closer. It's literally like having a pro photographer standing over your shoulder helping you get the shot. And then there's something called Magic Cue. Now this is a game changer. This is where the phone actually starts to think ahead for you. Instead of you having to hunt for an app or some info, the phone just offers it up right when you need it. You see? It's a totally different way of thinking. It's not about you commanding your phone anymore. It's about your phone helping you figure out what to do next. And check out Ask Photos. This is a perfect example of AI making complicated stuff super simple. You know how you have to mess with all those sliders and tools to edit a picture? Forget that. Now you just talk to it. You can literally say, make this photo a bit brighter. Or, get this, remove all those people in the background. What used to be a whole process is now just a conversation. And this whole AI first thing isn't just about software. It's baked into the top-of-the-line hardware. They're coming right for Samsung with the new Pixel 10 Pro Fold. How? By using AI to power a way better zoom. And on top of that, it's the very first foldable that's properly water resistant, like you can actually drop it in water. That's a huge deal for a folding phone. But look, this isn't just about getting you to buy a new phone. The real strategy is to weave this AI into the apps that millions, even billions of us already use every single day. Let's take Google Maps, for example. You've probably used it a million times, but have you tried the AR mode? You just hold up your phone, point it at a street, and boom, information just appears on top of the real world. You'll see restaurant ratings, store hours, maybe even some cool historical facts. It is straight up science fiction, and it's right there in an app you already have. And it's also coming to all those apps you use to organize your life. With this Gemini Live feature, you can just talk to your phone and say, hey, schedule a meeting, or add milk to my shopping list. It pulls together your calendar, your notes and keep, your tasks, everything. It stops being a bunch of separate apps and becomes one single assistant you can just talk to. Of course, none of this really works if it's not secure, and that's where the new operating system, Android 16, comes in. Think of it as the foundation for everything. It's got all these new security features built in because, let's face it, as the AI gets smarter and knows more about you, you have to be sure your data is locked down and safe. All right, so the tech is cool, the features are cool, but is it making them any money?
Does this whole AI everywhere strategy actually work? Well, let's follow the money.
Get ready for this number. In just 3 months, the second quarter of 2025, Google's parent company Alphabet made $96.4 billion. That is just a mind-boggling amount of money. And that's the war chest that's paying for all of this AI research and development.
So where did all that cash come from? Well, if you look at the breakdown, it's pretty clear. The lion's share, over $82 billion, comes from the stuff you'd expect. Search, YouTube, all the core Google services. And guess what's making those even better and more profitable? AI. Then you've got Google Cloud, pulling in almost $14 billion. A big chunk of that is other companies paying Google to use their AI tools. See the pattern? And this wasn't just a good quarter. Look at the growth compared to last year. They went from about $85 billion to over $96 billion. That's a 14% jump. I mean, the chart says it all. The billions they're pouring into AI, it's coming right back to them in the form of huge financial growth. The bet is definitely paying off.
Okay, so we've seen the tech, we've seen the money, but where is all this headed? What's the end game here? Why put this AI everywhere machine in our lives?
I think this quote from one of Google's VPs sums it up perfectly. He says, "It's not about giving you new features. It's about shifting how technology works for you." Think about that. For years, our gadgets have just sat there waiting for us to tell them what to do. That's reactive. Now, we're moving into a world where they become proactive partners, helping us out without even being asked. And that leaves us with one last, pretty big question to chew on. As these devices get so good that they start to anticipate what we need, maybe even before we know we need it, how does that change things? How does it change our relationship with technology itself? What happens when our tools know us better than we know ourselves? That's something to think about.